The devil doesn't care how many people you've got in your church on Sunday. He's worried about what you do on Monday. And I never forgot that, because it was like a rhema. I mean, we would measure the metrics of success when I was pastoring for 20 years and how many people came. But he was saying it right. And then he said something else. He said, it's not really about the mountains, Lance, it's about the gates. Because the gates of influence are the gates of decision-making and power within your city. And if the church is engaged with kingdom expansion, it's going to be contending at the gates. And where hell is at the gates, it's going to have to give ground. I think you've made enemies at the gates of hell, and some of them are occupying municipal offices. So tell me about the spiritual battle that you've had and how it shows up when you go from the church to blessing the city and civic engagement. You get pushback, right? What is it? How does it manifest itself?
Well, in the last 4 years alone, we've had, I think, 116 attack articles against us. And we feed at our church 2,000 families a week out of our food bank. We're one of the largest, if not the largest, food distributor in the city. They don't care about how many families we feed. They don't care about how many homeless people we reach.
Millions of meals that have been fed.
We've led
not one article about the food bank. 1,800
people to Jesus outside of church services this year alone. We've baptized 850 people this year alone, most of them outside of church services. So it doesn't matter what we do in the community or to serve the community, as we've gotten involved in what you're calling these gates of influence, these spheres of influence. The same people that are activism, that are pushing the gay and lesbian agenda, the transgender agenda, people that hate the things of God, have actively opposed us from every angle. And the main angle, this is going to blow your mind. You wait till your listeners hear this. Is we have a ministry that Heather founded called the Justice Reform, and we are building the largest residence of survivors of trafficking in America, and they're actively opposing. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so we launched, even before, for liberty and justice, an organization called the Justice Reform. And I think a lot of churches are revival, and not focused on reformation. And we can have revival in the church, but if it's not influencing the streets, if it's not influencing your city and turning it upside down, then what are we really doing? And so, we believe that reformation is making the crooked way straight. Our nation, there's a lot of crooked ways right now. And what the church has been calling political, what the world has been trying to keep the church out of and saying, those are political issues. You can't talk about those issues. We believe that we can. And we don't really call them political issues. It's injustice. And we serve a God of justice. And I believe that if we are encountering a God of justice and righteousness daily, then we should come out caring about injustice.
Hey there, you just listened to an excerpt. That's a little bit of the podcast. So if you want to get the whole thing, because there's a lot more content there, go to lancewallnut.com/podcast. And instead of getting an excerpt, you get the entire message.